On May 21st, 2005, Busch Gardens Tampa opened its newest ride, SHEIKRA, North America's first dive coaster. The park was quickly becoming one of the top theme park destinations in the world, and they had no plans of letting their foot off the gas. They had their sights on an entire new experience for the park. It all started with an idea that would take years of planning. All that was needed now was a company to manufacture it. A quick trip to Cedar Point for the newest edition would seal the deal. Cheetah Hunt was born.
There's something there in the wild, it's a reflection of me. People fight for survival.
Busch Gardens Tampa would set their sights on an entire new experience for the park. It all started with an idea. Mark Rose, the vice president of design and engineering, was watching Star Wars, and he thought it would be cool to make a ride that floated like those hover bikes. They really wanted to combine an animal experience with an all-original coaster. SeaWorld Orlando was constructing MONTU and opted to install an aquarium that guests could experience while walking through the queue. This would prove to be a huge hit, and Busch Gardens really liked the idea. Only one problem. They didn't have aquariums or fish, but they did have an old monorail station that hadn't been used for years. The cheetah was selected to be the focal point of this new attraction, and Cheetah was born. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It would need to be fast and low to the ground, so they reached out to many manufacturers for proposals on building the ride. Cedar Point was working with Intamin at the time on a new project known as Project 2007. That blitz coaster packed the speed they were looking for thanks to multiple LSM launches. The accelerator model was considered early on, but they really needed something that could launch at multiple points to simulate that cheetah getting it through the Serengeti plains. And they were also concerned with reliability issues. And after getting to Cedar Point to experience that new blitz coaster Maverick, it was a done deal. Intamin would be the one to construct Cheetah. Roller coasters are installed rather quickly, but when done right, the planning and design portion can take years. The park president stated that this one was in the works for nearly 5 years, making sure it delivered the experience they were seeking. Maverick's height requirement was 52 inches, but Busch Gardens wanted to make sure this one was more family friendly, coming in at 48. And it was pretty obvious the park was focused at this time on rides that were geared more towards the family. The previous year they had added Iron Gwazi. It was a junior coaster, and they also retracked large portions of Gwazi. They added new Millennium Flyer trains in an attempt to make that ride smoother. They also wanted to mimic the movement of a cheetah, so quick acceleration and staying low to the ground were top priorities during design. Once things got a little closer to construction, the park announced that Cheetah would not be the new name, but instead Cheetah Hunt. They even changed the name of Cheetah Chase to Sand Serpent, so it wouldn't be confusing. When they announced the coaster would be called Cheetah Hunt, many enthusiasts were very upset and even started an online petition for the park to name it Cheetah. They thought that name fit with the rest of the park better. MONTU, KUMBA, SHEIKRA, Cheetah. Either way, the park stuck with Cheetah Hunt. Busch Gardens was so excited about the new attraction, they would release a series of videos dropping hints for what was in store. However, none was bigger than the website that was set up. It was buschgardens2011.com. And each week the park would drop a hint word somewhere, and when a guest found that word, they could then go to the website and enter it to unlock 1/5 of the animation. In all, it took a total of 5 weeks to unlock the entire POV. Now, during construction, many people started to get really suspicious that the Intamin curse had struck again, and things were not going to plan. If you don't remember, Maverick's Heartline roll and Intimidator 305's first turn both had to be reworked due to being too strong. This time, the concern was that the ride was being delayed due to the sky ride having to be lowered in order for Cheetah Hunt to go over top it. Once I saw this, I looked up the original POV that was released, and it did show Cheetah Hunt going under the sky rod and not over top it. Busch Gardens stated that the animation was supposed to include it going over top the sky rod from the very beginning, and that it was always the plan to lower the sky rod. They insisted this was no mistake and the ride was on schedule to open as planned. I do think this is accurate because it did open just as planned. May 27, 2011 was a big day. Though the ride did have some maintenance to work through, the park was packed and the guests waited for 6 hours for those first rides. Cheetah Hunt's been a huge success for the park in general, though many enthusiasts felt it didn't live up to the high expectations that were set. I think the main reason is that people wanted Maverick 2.0 and still to this day compare it to that ride. Others just felt it was lacking some speed. The truth is, it was never designed to be a sequel to Maverick, it just borrowed a lot of the great technology from it. The park even stated that this one was more about thrills and chills. From the very start, Cheetah Hunt was designed to be more of an experience with lots of theming and detail, one that more of the family can enjoy. I went into this ride with that experience in mind, and I never expected it to deliver the punch of Maverick. And because of this mentality, it delivered for me. I'm a huge fan, and I even feel it's one of the best coasters in Florida. You start at the station with a solid launch, and it feels slightly stronger than Copperhead Strikes. But just look at the attention to detail right from the start. That concrete rock work is incredible and it really sells the experience. Another solid detail is how the wall goes from concrete to bamboo so that the guests have a blur of you racing through. The turnaround is perfectly done. It's always fun to start your ride by going around people that are on the ground watching. And then you dive underground to experience the strongest boost on the ride. This is my favorite part because you already have speed when you reach it and it pins you back pretty good. By the time you reach the bottom of that figure 8, you're straight getting it. That doesn't last long though because that climb to the top takes all your speed. A little side note, if you're in the front car, you get a solid pop of air here. Now this is a good time. Look around at the park from about every angle imaginable. Thrills and chills, remember? It's time to run again. Did I mention how good those trains look? Okay, this is where you fly over top that sky ride that had to be lowered. And then you're gonna dive under another walkway pad. You hit this hardline roll with some pretty good speed. Now this is my second favorite part of the ride. You weave back and forth here and it is so much fun. But just a little side note, this part is supposed to have water and also a waterfall. I'm not sure if this was turned off on the days I rode it, but in my opinion this is very important to complete the experience that makes this ride. Now this is where you hit your third launch to get up to speed for the best moment of air on the ride. I really like that pop. And from here it's just a race back to the station. Speaking of which, just look at the small detail that went into this ride. The lights and the side of the concrete pillars look like a cheetah. So my final conclusion is that this is a great ride, but you have to go into it with the right mindset. I think for what Busch Gardens was looking to accomplish, they pretty much perfected it. It's the definition of a ride that is good enough for the enthusiast, while taking someone that's a little nervous about coasters and making them a fan for life. It did get second place for the best new ride of 2011, only losing to New Texas Giant. And no doubt you can find stronger and more forceful rides in the park. If there was one thing I would change, I think adding a boost right after it crossed over that sky rod would have been a game changer. Let's see what it could have looked like. This is the normal way. And this is with the extra boost. Either way, that was just for fun and the ride's incredible without it. For anyone that may not have enjoyed it the same as me, well, I think you're really going to find what you've been looking for when the park opens back up. And I couldn't be more excited for that day to come.
Of me, people fight for survival. shine. One day soon I will fly. I know I am free. I'm feeling alive. Take me back to the jungle. Take me back to the jungle. Hey. Take me back to the jungle. The city keeps me distracted, but I know where I should be. Tell my mama I'm leaving. Just take your mask off and join me. I know you're dying to see all the secrets I'm hiding. One day soon I will find. I know I am close. I know I will shine. One day soon I will fly. I know I am free. I'm feeling alive. Take me back to the jungle. Take me back to